15 minutes into the race and the threat of rain becomes a reality for Malcolm Campbell. The clouds over Amaroo Park have started to drop rain on the back of the circuit. It's only light at this stage, but it's in fact that very light rain, Dennis Neal, that could be the most dangerous for the riders at this stage.
Absolutely critical. You can see a little bit of rain on your visor. You're not sure how damp the track is, and actually you have to wait until the bike does something wrong, such as a slide, to let you know what's actually happening. The rain, it's hard to work out the clouds. There's sun in one part and it's raining in others. It's really mixed.
A huge pity for the Castrol 6R, because the last thing we needed was the third successive year of rain. We've really all been waiting to see this huge clash between the Honda 1100 and the Suzuki 1100 at Amaroo Park in the big race, the Castrol, and we just don't need rain to spoil it.
Actually lasted for about 2 laps, and I think with the heat, the slight amount of heat that is in the track, probably hasn't affected things too much. The riders don't certainly seem to be slowing down at all.
But you can see there already that the sun is coming out again at the back of the track, where rain was only 2 laps before. Okay.
Threading their way through the traffic in 6th place, Pete Byers, the Queenslander, heading a trio of charging riders, because hot on his heels, he's on a Honda, hot on his heels is Neil Chivers, the winner of the race with Alan Hales a couple of years ago. He's on a Suzuki number 6, you can see him there, and in behind him in 8th place is Andrew Johnson, again a race winner in the Castrol, on bike number 3, another Honda. There he is. So that trio are in 6th, 7th and 8th place. And Andrew Johnson sweeping up incredibly wide there. But there's the 3 of them. Going hammer and tongs, and Chivers nearly through, but sticking the Suzuki neck out. Watch him down at Honda Corner, which is the hard corner for the Suzukis, where alternator covers are at a risk. And Chivers and his co-rider Rod Cox have got to be looked at for a good, well-judged, steady race pace. Very nicely placed in 7th position. And when hard chargers like Campbell out in front, Phyllis and others who tend to be more of the sprinters, perhaps run into trouble, perhaps are harder on their tyres or brakes, it's people like Chivers and Cox. And that's a very strong team in behind too. Johnson and Greg Pretty, both of them Australian Unlimited champions on Grand Prix bikes. Both of them highly experienced endurance race bike riders. Success in the RI 500, Castrol 6R and other long distance production races.
Some 5 seconds behind the leader, and the dice is really on for second place between Neville Hiscock on bike 1 and Len Willing on bike 8. They've swapped the lead twice on this lap so far. Willing in the lead at the moment. Hiscock comes up, ranges alongside him, and that's how close they are. Hiscock really throwing out a challenge. The big brakes of the Honda stopping a little bit quicker into Winfield corner. Hiscock with a big bit right between his teeth. Glenn Willing onto this bike only at the beginning of this week, having split with the Toshiba Yamaha team. Traffic will slow Willing down through here. Hiscock snicks underneath to stay in touch with him. So difficult in traffic to stay in touch with the bike in front. Hiscock doing it perfectly.
I think Neville might set himself up for a run into stop corner this time.
Too big the gap.
He'd be the most aggressive rider on the circuit, I would say, Neville. He really goes at it.
But hard on his bike as well, too, then.
Very hard on the bike, yeah.
Would have to be the most suspect in terms of taking care of the rear tyre, for example.
Right, well, if the weather does hold, all the leading teams intend to change the rear tyres, so they can go absolutely 100% at it and change the tyre.
There he goes.
Beautiful move, fastest part of the circuit. 112, 115 mile an hour across there.
And now Willing will take the challenge. Willing also not a man to back off.
No, Lenny hasn't had much experience on these big capacity production bikes, but had a lot of experience on Grand Prix bikes and really knows what he's doing.
The bumps in Honda Corner probably going to become an unsettling influence, especially later in the race when they get covered with rubber.
We'll see if the Honda here has any power advantage up the straight. However, I doubt it. Don't really get a chance to wind them up properly on such a short straight as Emery Park. A little bit more.
Takes fourth gear up the straight. Oh, and there's someone down, the first casualty in the Castrol 6 hour. Like 13 in the Castrol, the 13th Castrol 6 hour race, Campbell Ferris and Michael Bundy on the Honda 900. So unlucky 13 really does strike, doesn't it?
That's actually a little CBX 550 they're riding. They decided to switch bikes because the 550 was a little bit easier to ride.
And qualified equal 21st.
Dominating the 750cc class, 19-year-old New Zealand rider Bob Toomey on a Suzuki bike 30 right there is about to be lapped by the outright leader Malcolm Campbell, and there he goes in the inside. Malcolm Campbell on lap 46 takes the 750cc class leader one lap down for the first time. Magnificent riding for Toomey. He's riding 13th outright position. He's 21.9 seconds ahead of the second place in his class, Richard Scott. And it's Robert Holden on the bike, not Toomey. Robert Holden, the other New Zealand rider, 23 years of age, riding the machine. So he's doing brilliantly on